welcome to another edition of GW Unspoken, where we discuss stuff we don't typically talk about but probably should. And wow, we've got a blast from the past here. A guy, the first person ever interviewed on GW Unspoken is back. It's Vishara. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yourself?
How has it been?
It's been about 16 months, I think. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
A year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I mean, like, let's go back a bit again. Like, for the people who haven't heard this before, the story is working in Cloncurry. You go.
Yeah, so the story is Gary Hero, back in the day, I used to call him Mr. Woodford, was my grade 7 maths and sports teacher in a very small country town called Cloncurry, population of about 2,000. And I left Cloncurry probably in grade 8 or 9, I think. And 20 years later, I just run into Gary 20 years later in North Lakes Shopping Centre. And he just, stood out. So I was like, and I didn't know his first name, so I had to yell out, Mr. Woodford. So, it was quite amazing. And Gary's always sort of stood out in my mind as a pretty awesome teacher. So, very memorable. And here we are, so many years later. I'd say 23, 24 years later, just doing a podcast with you. It's pretty insane. Yeah,
and mate, I'm glad you reached out, because I remember just because I think back then it was a 7-8 combined class, and it was my first ever teaching gig, and I got told to do maths because for some reason they said thought I was a maths teacher, and I had no idea. You're probably smarter than me in that room right then, mate. You were pretty clever. Still are pretty clever. But then suddenly you just yell it out, and then I think we swapped numbers, and then you came over at the time then with your partner, and just about to have your first baby, and you came over for a dinner, and I think 2 or 3 days later we were one of the first ones to see you.
See the little one, yeah. I think so. Aria was born probably about a month, 2 months or something like that after we met, maybe, or even sooner.
Sooner than that.
Was it sooner? Yeah. Maybe it was. Yeah.
I thought it was only a few days, because we thought she's gonna have a baby on our couch here. Yeah. She's so close.
No, because the first time we met, she was probably about 7 months pregnant, and then the second time we did the dinner.
That was the time.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Got that right. That was it. Yeah. It must have been a few days after that day.
Yeah. It was a few days after the second time. Yeah.
Because I remember I met you for a coffee, I think, first.
You did, yep.
And then we were just catching up, and I just couldn't believe it that we ran into each other after being, 1,800 k's away or 18-hour drive away.
Yeah.
Something
it's
insane.
1,400 kilometers away, I think Cloncurry is, and after so long too.
Yeah.
And I think I remember telling you I did ages ago when I was probably still in uni, did a little Facebook stalk to try and find you, but couldn't find you. And then, there you go, like all of a sudden in North Lakes.
Yep, no social media for me.
Hold on.
Oh, and mate, it was so good. And then catching up because, and then for me, like, you'd have been like 11 or 12 back then.
Yeah, I was.
And I think you're 31 or something when I met you or something like
that. I would have been 31, Yep.
So 19 years later.
Yeah.
And you're a young, strapping, fit man, and I'm about to get the wheelchair out. So it feels awesome, mate. Things have changed. Now, mate, last time you were on the podcast, let's get into it. Last, and I appreciate you being here. We're in the library today at North Lakes, and it's unreal, this little setup here, so thanks for coming out. Last time we chatted, I know you're probably in a bit of a dark space, and I hope you're okay to speak about this. And you could tell in your voice, some of your voice was really quivering. I thought at the start it might have been you just a bit nervous to podcast, but it was sort of, throughout the podcast, you could actually feel you could feel you're struggling a fair bit, and you're in a bit of a dark space. And you rang me the next day saying, look, I'm really glad I got that off my chest. I feel a lot better. But then you've been through a bit. So, open slather, go through the journey. How were you feeling on that podcast? Where are you from then to now? And I'll probe some questions for me if that's right throughout.
Absolutely.
But let's go through a bit of your journey from then, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, look, reflecting back to that last podcast, around that time of that year, definitely in one of the lowest, probably most lowest points of my life for that period. I think I was in a very dark place. And when I say dark, I mean like, it was a struggle to get through every day, basically. Like,
I want to dig deeper on you there. So I'm pretty sure you're telling me you were working at a chinchilla at the time?
No.
Was it before that?
I was before that. I have gone through cycles of depression, and diagnosed incorrectly as well. But that particular time, my relationship wasn't going that great. There was a lot of triggers in that relationship as well. Triggers that were completely linked to my past, my childhood, really, and those were constantly getting triggered. And the thing is, my ex knew about those triggers, and she had this power of manipulation, nearly, to be able to use that to bring that out of me, and like use that as a weapon, nearly. And so, I was in a very, very dark place where it was every single day my mind's telling me, like, the world's better off without you. Like, I'm wishing I wasn't here and everything like that. And since then, I've been able to, get on the right meds, to, like, really go on a self-healing journey since I separated from my partner. And the more time that passes, the more I can reflect back to that time and think how toxic it was as well. And seeing how, like, it's not like, even if I look at photos of me back then, I can see that I look different. Like, it's because
you carry that emotional burden.
Yeah, I'm carrying such a massive emotional burden. And if you think about it, your feelings, everything is just vibrations, right? A human body is made out of 70 to 80% water. So water itself can hold, if you put water on a speaker and turn it to a certain vibration, that water will start acting like
movement,
the waveform of that, ripples of water. So when you're in such a bad state, or that vibrational energy, your body's just like your body's making it into it, basically. So that shows up on your outside as well.
You're holding all that tension.
Yeah, you're holding all the tension. You're holding the stress. It ages you. There's so much to it, and so since separation, look, I won't lie, I went down pretty badly. Last year, especially, and April was probably the worst point, the hardest point. And I did.
Vish, were you suicidal back then?
I did.
Were you thinking about taking your life?
I attempted, yeah.
You did?
And I ended up in ICU for 3 nights, in the mental health ward.
Did you check yourself in then, or how that work?
No. So what happened was, what I decided to, like, this was planned too. I planned all this for so long.
And you are a planning person. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you are someone who's very melancholy.
Very planned, very thought out. So the plan was, I was going to take 100% pure caffeine powder, and the reason I wanted to do that is it's different. It's not like a crazy drug or anything like that. The whole purpose was to induce a cardiac arrest, basically, and give myself a heart attack. So I drove up to the sunny coast on, I think it was April the 5th, and took that, texted my best friend, said goodbye to her, and I messaged Sasha as well, and just said, goodbye, and like, I've left a key to the house, feed the dogs and all that. And my best friend, she managed to call the cops. At this point, I had already switched my phone off, and they traced my phone. And just by luck, when they managed to trace my phone, driving around, they just saw a flash of red when they were driving around, and the flash of red was my Mustang parked, like, in visitors in the information center up in the sunny coast in the Glasshouse Mountains. And I think probably about I think it was maybe 6:30, 7 p.m. when I was starting to you'd think that much caffeine. I had about the equivalent of 900 energy drinks, 990 energy drinks. And
Jeez.
my heart rate was through the roof. I was sweating, like drenched in sweat. And you think at having that much energy drinks, you'd be just totally buzzing. But no, my body was shutting down. Cramps are getting bad, and I couldn't even move. Totally just out of it. And anyway, the cops found me, and got into the ambulance and got taken into hospital. And
so what? Minutes, hours, really?
Yeah. And if I didn't send that text, I probably wouldn't have been found.
No,
that was going to be the whole plan anyway. I didn't want to be found. That's why I turned my phone off. I didn't think about they'd be able to trace it as well as they did. To be honest, but I nearly see that nearly as a rebirth now, because ever since then I've been able to get on the meds properly, like proper medicine, and really understand myself a lot better. And when I say that, I mean with depression, there's two sides to it. There's a chemical imbalance that is affected in your brain. And then there's also the environmental side of it as well. And sometimes it can be a combination of both or just one. The chemical imbalance, that's actually quite rare. A lot of people are mainly environmentally affected by childhood trauma or whatever's going on in their point in time in their life. And you can talk about it and work through those issues. But when there's a chemical imbalance, it's so much harder to do that because, now that I think back to the way my mind was thinking back then, saying your kids are going to be so much better off without you. Look at this friend; she's going to be so much better without you. This person's going to be so much better without you. I think one of the lines I even wrote in my suicide note was, "I'm sorry for being like the chewing gum at the bottom of your feet." So that's how I saw myself, and that's what I thought other people thought of me.
We had a guy named JJ on the show not long ago too, and he was massive into alcohol, addicted to alcohol, and he'd planned to have suicide as well. And the reason why I've jumped in and said this little story is because he said the same words. He felt like he was a burden on anyone. He kept saying that, I'm a burden on my wife. She'd be better off without me. The same words he used. 100%. Oh, it's got goosebumps. The same words he used is what you used. So that must be a common thing in depression.
It is. Yeah, exactly. And that's the key example of how is a chemical imbalance, because that's your dopamine, that's your all this stuff just not working in your mind properly. And for some reason, like the way we're coded, that's how certain chemical makes you feel. It's that burdenment. Like,
what other feelings were you having at that time? Was it different each day? Did you wake up with it? Was there certain parts of the day that was worse than others? Were you angry? Were you frustrated? Were you happy? Were there times of really happy and then down to sad?
Well, it was, so it's like color had been sucked out of life, basically. That's probably the best way to describe it. Everything's just dull. Nothing to look forward to. And even if I try combat it with, I got this coming up and that coming up, and it's like, that's only going to be a temporary relief. Or what's that going to do?
Your brain would tell you that.
Yeah, that's what my brain would tell me. Yeah. So, and then it'll be back into every single day kind of wishing something would happen that will take my life away.
Yeah, wow.
Every single day. Every moment too, till I go to sleep. And you can imagine that having that constant battle and struggle in your mind makes you so tired as well, because you are putting in so much energy. And on top of that, I was still going to gym and I was still functioning and looking after the kids and all that.
Still going to work. And so it was just, so that. Were those areas suffering? You look back now, were they suffering? They weren't?
Never suffered.
No.
Nothing ever suffered, because I held it all, and I think I never resorted to drugs or alcohol or anything like that. I just got up and kept going through life, and but after the separation and everything, living by myself, I think there was probably more time in my own head, and other aspects of environmental issues was also affecting me at the time as well. And yeah, I guess it just all became too much because I just saw no way of getting better. And that's another thing that your mind keeps telling you. There's no way of treating yourself. You're not going to get better.
So you wake up, you know you're going to be in a bad space. And even when you do get, say, an endorphin rush from gym because you make yourself go there, you're feeling good. But even at that time, your brain's going, oh, this ain't temporary. You're not going to feel like crap or exactly, shit soon. So
100%. I mean, I'll be in the gym sometimes and I'll be feeling miserable and I'm still in there. I feel terrible while I'm doing my exercises. I'll like do my, lap pull down. I'll be doing lap pull downs and then I'll put weight away and then I'm just in this terrible, dark place. Like while I'm sitting there going, God, I hate this. This is shit. Why am I here?
Yeah. So can I go back and ask, and if you don't want to, it's all good too. But is there are you happy to open up about some of your triggers? Like when you're growing up? Like I know we touched a little bit on it the first time, but do you think there's things that led to the chemical imbalance? Like is there the triggers that you said that, your partner at the time was openly hitting you with? What were some of them from your childhood that you think you brought through into adult life that you couldn't shake or affected you?
The biggest one, the main key one is not good enough.
Okay.
So that stems from my dad, the way he used to treat me, and probably my mum as well. And that childhood single trigger of you're not good enough, like rippled his way through basically everything in life for me. And this is the thing, Sasha, my ex, she knew that and she used that so damn well as well. So throughout that relationship, those triggers are constantly there. So that environmental impact of it is just constantly enhanced as well as the chemical as well.
Yeah. So did that stem from, I think back then you were saying how, was it dad expected you to get 100% for everything?
Yeah.
And no go out on the weekend to get everything right? And,
I mean, like there was like times where I wasn't allowed, like he's like, oh, you're not allowed to have fun. Like, what's fun? Like, you're in, grade 7 now. Like, you're going into grade 8. How dare you think about even having fun? Like, no, get in there, do this, do that. Like, there's no, like, it's creativity got basically squeezed out of me as well. You know, like there's no...
Almost robotic.
Yeah.
You go to your bedroom,
that's exactly
you go to study, you get 100%.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I remember getting a B+ for maths once. And that's...
Oh, you had a good teacher. I mean... Mate, that's worth an A triple plus.
That's... that was in grade 10.
Okay,
yeah. In Brisbane. Yeah, B+. And that was probably the first time I've ever got anything lower than an A in maths.
Yeah.
And God, my dad was livid about it.
Was he?
Yeah, he was livid about it. And I just remember thinking, I can even put myself into that situation now, that time and go, any other parent would be pretty happy. You know? Like, that's a pretty good grade. Yeah. But yeah, no. So there's that trigger of...
It was mainly verbal abuse towards you?
Oh, no, there's physical as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Physical and verbal. I think the thing about verbal is verbal stays with you, whereas a physical kind of, it does stay with you, but the verbal just hits harder.
Yeah.
For some reason. Just
starts telling your thoughts of who you are.
Yeah.
And those belief systems come through.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that's what being around. So that's constantly been around. But ever since this, the separation, mate, like I've just been on such a journey of like trying to help myself, heal myself, put myself first, understand the difference between the chemical and the environmental imbalance. I'm actually starting a new treatment called rTMS, which is like magnetic treatment on your head. Basically, there's like put a magnetic coil on your head and it passes an electric current through it. And just zaps your head. Like, do that every single day for 40 minutes at the Pine Rivers Hospital. Get that done, and it's working pretty well. And also just being on proper chemicals, proper meds as well, and a fitness like significantly the fittest I've ever been in my life. As well. So really turned my life around to a point where I am quite pretty happy with who I am, where I'm at.
Are you good enough now?
Yeah. Oh, I reckon so.
I reckon you're right. But your self-thoughts, I mean.
Yeah, definitely. And so I don't have those insane self-thoughts that I used to have anymore.
Yeah.
And that's just a clear indication of how crazy the chemical imbalance is. And I, a few months ago, maybe 3 months ago, I actually sort of started tapering off one of my pills.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I feel good. I don't think I need these anymore. So I tapered off them. And the half-life of this particular drug is about 2 weeks. So it's a massive half-life. And I was thinking, I'm not going to go on these because I've come off them. And then, boom, about 2 weeks later, 2.5 weeks later, falling back down. I'm like, there's that chemical imbalance coming back in again. So just goes to show how important it is to be treated properly and to get the help. And if there's people out there that are struggling and thinking at this present moment in time, there is no help, there's no way out, like those are exactly the same things that I thought about. There is.
Yeah. You
just got to get the right help for it.
So where did it start? So I know you talked about some of the things that are helping you now. We went, let's go back to this, if that's okay, back to the hospital bed. The police found you, ambulance, you've gone in there. There was obviously pumped your stomach or neutralised the caffeine in your body to get you right. Did the recovery journey start then? Were you pissed off that they got you, that you survived, or were you actually relieved? How did it go from there? Like, take me from the spot where you're admitted to hospital and suddenly you're conscious again, and you're getting, physically getting helped, to the support mechanisms to get to where you are now.
So I'll take you back to that day of actually taking the caffeine.
Yep.
Sitting in my car alone, and I remember thinking to myself that I need to keep my mind in a keep myself in a calm place. So wherever this takes me out from the physical realm, I want to be in a calm place, kind of thing. So I thought if I keep my energy in a bad place, it's going to take me to a bad place. So and I was in so, like, I think sad, I guess, in those moments, just sitting in that car, feeling quite alone, feeling like no one gave a shit, no one cares, like this is for everyone else's benefit. I am doing this for everyone else, so everyone else is feeling better. But so I remember the very next day, because I was laying in the hospital bed that night, and for the first time in quite a long time, actually, I started to cry because I was like, this is shit. Like, I can't even kill myself, right?
Yeah.
And I was like crying there in the emergency ED. And then as soon as the nurses come in, then I stop, because again, that's going, I'm showing weakness if I'm crying.
That's right.
Even in that, super. And then I just go into trying to make sure that I don't look weak in front of the doctors and nurses.
Comes back to, are you enough?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I'm thinking to myself, this is, you're such an embarrassment. You can't kill yourself. How are you going to face the people now? Like,
you failed, really.
I failed. I failed at trying to kill myself. And that's what I felt like. The next day, I messaged my friend and I said, sorry for being an inconvenience, but I'm okay now. I'm here. And all I could think about had been how embarrassed I felt, like, for not being able to be successful at it. And then after that, obviously, went into the mental health ward, and going into the mental health ward, I was kind of afraid at the start. Didn't know what to expect. and I had to go under an actual order, like they make you go. You don't have an option; you have to go.
Yeah.
It's a restraint or something like that. Anyway, and I was thinking, oh God, what kind of crazies am I going to see there?
Yeah.
But it was really good. It was actually quite helpful. I got a chance to just chill.
Yeah.
And actually, first thing I did on the Sunday on the very next day after attempting was, oh no, like my boss is coming in on Monday because he was coming in from Perth. And now I'm alive, like, and I need to see him on Monday now, like, so I had to call him up and tell him, and my mind's going, oh, my boss is going to fire me for this.
Yeah.
Again, chemical imbalance, and the boss was so understanding, and he just said, don't even worry about it, like, please fix yourself up, like, get yourself better. We're all thinking of you. You're like family to us.
So good.
So yeah, even in my mental health ward, I was sitting there, I was just sending off emails, and my boss emails me and goes, Vish, stay up your emails, I'm locking you out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I want you to get better, like rest.
Yeah.
And when you're out of hospital, I want you to take a couple of weeks off and just rest as well, and just come back when you're ready. Don't worry about the job. It's going to be here for you when you get back. Like, it's not going anywhere. We're all here for you. And that was great. And in there, that's when they started adjusting my meds.
Yeah.
So started doing that. And yeah, I remember the first night after I got back home, could not sleep at all because my head, like, it just felt like these thoughts are just constantly coming in, and I'll dismiss it and I'll just come back. I'll dismiss it and it'll come back. I'll dismiss it. I could not freaking shut it up for the life of me because I couldn't sleep. But one of my friends, he gave me this great idea of get a whiteboard, write that thought down, and then write your dismiss statement down. All right, cool. I did that, and it's just like the next day, fell asleep after doing it. Like, because it's like it just flew out of my head onto paper, and it's gone.
Yeah, wow.
And I ticked it off, like, and fell asleep. It was great. But yeah, the very next day, Sasha had to go into hospital, so she dropped the kids off with me, and I needed to. I took them out to Bounce World. Yeah. I was at this point brand newly on meds, just got out of hospital, had these terrible shakes because like it was
body adjusting
to all these different chemicals, and I couldn't even put Athena's shoes on, which is my youngest. I couldn't put her shoes on. I was shaking so much, and this mum comes up and goes, "Do you need help?" I'm like, "Yes, please, that'll be great." And she helped me put Athena's shoes on. So I was still in a bad spot then, but then after the whole chemical imbalance started lifting, things started to get better. Like getting like really good in the gym, work was going good again. Things just like seeing my psychologist and really spending the time to improve myself.
And I think of all the tools you're using at the moment, mate, but I wonder how many stereotypically probably still the same. A lot of men struggle to
absolutely,
do that, face your fears, and like you had to go to the mental health ward, go and see a psychologist, go on drugs to fix up the imbalance you're talking about. Now trying a different, like a magnetic shock therapy, reaching out to friends. Now this is coming from a guy who less than 5 minutes ago said wasn't enough. But you're now reaching out to people, doing exactly the opposite to what your brain's telling you, and you're seeing the other side, and it seems to be working.
Oh yeah, big time, and I think coming out of the marriage and bad relationship was really good too, because that took away the bad environment. Completely took that away. So that now that I'm just fighting with the chemical imbalance is a bit easier. So,
and how's the environment now?
good.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah. I'm quite happy. Back something that came up with my ex Sasha was like always trying to nearly always tell me that I'm a bad dad, and I'm not. I'm actually a great dad, and everyone sees that. Everyone else can see it, but the person that was supposed to be closest to me was giving me shit about it, saying that I wasn't good. So again, there's that trigger of I'm not seeing her say it. I'm saying I'm basically in my mind. I'm seeing my dad tell me I'm not good enough.
Yeah,
when that happens.
That's what you're hearing.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. So,
so it's not necessarily even if it's her word. It's probably that backstory, that reinforcement of that.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I worked on that very specific thing with my psychologist to try help that as well.
Yeah,
and that's worked.
Yeah, great.
So that was to write down I am good enough on paper 70 times. So you write I am good enough, and then whatever comes to your mind straight after it, you write that down. And then you write again, I'm good enough. And then whatever comes to your mind, you write it, and you do it 70 times for 7 days straight. And it's just about rewiring, reprogramming your brain.
Neuroscience.
Yeah.
It's all in the brain, isn't it?
It's
all in the mind.
It's
so the ticket is.
Brain's in a very interesting place, and the crazy thing is your brain's got everything there to help you actually have a good life, have a good time. It's got all the dopamine, serotonin, it's all there, it's there. But it doesn't want to give it to you. You got to work for it, you know?
That's right, yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, mate. And I love some of those strategies you said, because I know we work closely with kids at school and adults at school, and even our own kids can try those strategies out as well. I've actually just enrolled in a course myself doing neuroscience and wellbeing, so we might be able to switch notes around too and see what
that'll be good. Good.
Mate, it's awesome. And you are a great dad. I saw you down the park less than a week ago now, and we're down looking at the turtles and feeding the lizards. The lizard's name was Rainbow Fairy Floss.
Yeah, Fairy Floss Rainbow Unicorn.
I think it was Unicorn again too, so it was good. So Aria named that one. It was very cute.
Yeah.
It was great to see those girls, mate, and how you interact with them.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's been quite a good journey, and it's good to finally realize that they need me in their life.
Yeah, they do. Young girls need their dads. 100%.
And without me, they won't. Yeah, they just won't get that development phase that they get from me. So yeah.
So what's success look for you now, mate? If we move forward now, and I'm still presuming you still have some tough days. It's never always for anybody straight, you know.
Definitely.
What's success look for you in the next couple of years? So we're looking at 2027. Where would you like to be at?
I think I'd still obviously. Now, the thing with mental illness or anything like that, it is like going to the gym and working on yourself every single day. You got to work on yourself every single day. You let yourself slide, that's when it comes back. So it's to constantly be working on myself, and hopefully eventually start tapering off some of the meds as well.
Yeah.
If I can get good enough. That's sort of my future plan. But I'm not in any rush to do that. I mean, there's no evidence to say that it's impacting my health in a bad way or anything like that. So, I'll and also I've joined this brotherhood group called the Men Brotherhood, and it's all about it's a group of men come together to help one another out.
Right.
And
who got you into that one, or did you find that on the net?
I actually ran into an old PT from my old gym from about 5 years ago. Recently, maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, I ran into him at the new gym that I go to, and he told me, and I'm like, "Oh, Chris, I haven't seen you in ages." And he's like, "Oh, how you going, man? How you been?" And I told him quickly, "Oh, man, lots has changed since the last all year. You know, like going through a separation and this and that." And then he's like, "Oh, man, that would have been rough." I'm like, "Yeah, I had a pretty rough year. I had a rough year." And he's like, "Let me introduce you to this space." And that space is amazing. So every Monday we do a check-in post, a live check-in post. And if anyone's struggling, people reach out. And every Wednesday we do a group call where we go through various issues. So my last call just yesterday was about childhood triggers and childhood trauma.
Wow.
And the guys, you get a list of questions, and we a few of the guys share, and you talk about it, and then you just realize it's not just you that's got these problems.
Yeah.
And the not good enough, that is such a common thing.
Yeah, well, there you go.
With men in particular.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the suicide rates as well, I think it's 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 suicides are men.
Yeah.
Because we don't talk about it.
No, and I know it's to do with the hormones and the testosterone. I forget someone to talk about this, but I think too that when men are more successful at doing it. I think still a lot of women attempt, but a lot of men are successful.
Yes.
They make a point and that's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, mate, holy hell. So you've gone through a journey. Haven't you?
Yeah.
But you're smiling here in a good spot now.
Yeah, definitely went through a journey, mate. It was probably the most biggest journey of growth I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's why I like to call that event that I had back in April like a rebirth nearly. Yeah, it was just a chance to start again nearly.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's too many people out there that can say they've taken the equivalent of 990 energy drinks to survive to tell the tale.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
So when's the book come out, mate? When's that right?
Well, the crazy thing is even the ambos going, they didn't know how to treat me because they'd never heard of it before.
Yeah.
We're putting this into their poison database thing, and it wasn't coming up with how to fix me.
Yeah.
It's never happened before. And I'm like, I knew that too back then. That was how I planned it. I was like, I knew it. I knew no one would have ever thought of this. But yeah. So yeah.
You could have taken on David Goggins, mate.
Yeah, I probably could have.
100-mile run. Yeah. See you, Dave.
See you. You think you're so good.
Yeah. I mean, you can have a joke about it now, but yeah, it must have been tough on you.
Oh, yeah.
Tough. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you in a better spot, mate, and you're looking fit as hell, and you're good to see you smiling, and you got, other things happening in the background, which is good besides work, some things to look forward to.
Yeah. Sort of seeing, started dating this lovely girl, and she's a mate. She's been pretty cool. It's been really nice to meet her as well, and just also forming true connections with people that are closer to you. I think the older you get, when I was younger, I used to be so meeting people and just going out and just like a social butterfly. But now, I just want to keep my
circle smaller,
circle small, close network. And just love the people that deserve to be loved and need to be in my life. Yeah.
Can I ask you, how's your relationship with your parents now?
Look, it's still pretty hard, and I think I don't know if I can ever get to a good place with my parents. There's just been too much damage there, I think. And I probably still need to work on a couple of those memories that get triggered, even involving my mum as well. So, people think, oh, it happened so long ago, mate, just forgive and forget. You can't. It's just like if you were building a house and you got a couple of cracks in your foundation, your house is going to stumble at some point. So you just can't.
Yeah. Unless you go back and fix it up.
Yeah, unless you go back and fix it up, yeah.
So, yeah. Well, it's interesting, mate. Well, I want to thank you for sharing your story. It's always great to have you on. Let's make sure it's not 16 months again till you come back on.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I want to finish off with a few fun stuff, if that's all right.
Of course, mate.
I haven't shown you this. I think they're a bit upgraded since the last time we talked about it. So I'm going to give you, you're pretty cluey, so you'll probably nail these, but I'll do them really quickly here. We're going to call this segment Quick Questions, and I'm going to ask for your favourite. I'll give you a favourite, for example, anything, and you got to say what your answer is within 2 seconds.
Okay.
The clock's on. Ready? Your favourite exercise in the gym?
Lat pull down.
What's your favourite excuse you've heard not to exercise?
Too busy.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favourite movie?
Yes, I would have to say. It's a tricky one. There's a fair few. Favorite movie? Maybe Never Back Down.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Favourite drink?
A protein smoothie.
Okay. What flavour?
Chocolate.
Okay.
It's got to be chocolate.
Everyone loves chocolate. Favourite food?
Favorite food. That's a difficult one as well. Probably my red Thai curry.
Nice. Do you have a favourite song or song type?
Look, the music's a funny one for me because I don't really get in. I mean, have any favorites with it. I don't really connect that insanely crazy music. I don't know why.
Okay.
There's
no go-to?
No.
You jump in the Mustang, there's no song you go...
Actually, probably recently, Miles Smith.
Okay.
One of Miles Smith's songs. I can't even remember what it is, but it's really good.
Did you want to sing it?
No.
No one's ever said yes yet. No,
I'll
get someone.
lose all your listeners.
Do you have a favourite animal?
Yeah, I would have to say tiger.
Ooh, okay. Do you have a favourite quote or saying? Maybe it's
yeah,
good enough.
actually. I think something that kind of hits hard for me is you have to remember that it's okay to be not okay.
Yep. Nice. Favourite leisure time activity?
Probably gym.
Okay. Favourite TV show?
TV show Cobra Kai.
Okay. Oh yeah, the old Karate Kid. Nice.
Yep.
A favourite holiday destination you've been to or would like to go to?
Like to go to Greece. Been to Rome.
Okay. Do you have a favourite sport?
Probably go with cricket, I guess.
Okay. Here we go. You'll love this one. What's your favourite vehicle type?
V8s usually. Lamborghini, definitely.
Lamborghini?
V10.
I told my wife we're going to get out a Tirana. She just laughed at me and said, I'm not going in that car. It's too small. Okay, right, yeah. All right, word associations. Here we go. Next group.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a word or group of words, and you have to say one word response. All right, that's relative to these words.
Okay.
Fast cars.
Mustang.
Early morning starts.
Productive.
Excuses.
Weak.
Nice. Free weights.
Strength.
Coffee.
Strong.
Protein powder.
Muscle.
Recovery.
Important.
Doing this podcast.
Great.
Sleep.
Important.
You told you'd nail these. Can't even stump you, damn it. I mean, good work. Okay. All right, we're nearly done. Here's a couple of hypotheticals. Vish is down to his last $20. What's he buying?
Last 20.
You should see the stress going across this guy's face.
That's gone up by $10 since the last time we spoke, so that's pretty good.
Oh, inflation.
Last 20. I think we'll see. I remember what I said the last time, so I won't say that again.
What did you say last time?
I said I'll buy some seeds.
Yes.
For horticulture.
Right. So you're going to do this 20 now. Two lots of seeds.
20. No. I'll get extra seeds.
If you say caffeine, I'm going to beat you to a hospital.
Last $20. I'll probably get myself a protein shake, to be honest.
Nice.
For a bit of recovery.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had Ian Webster on once, not long ago too, last couple of months, and he was smart. He goes, "Oh, it's easy, mate. I just make more money." And I said, "Oh, what? Go to track or something?" He goes, "No, I just go buy a heap of Cokes from the shops and sell them for one for one, some for three, and make more money." I went, "Yeah, entrepreneur money all over it." All right, a bit more money this time. You've now inherited $2 million.
Ooh,
what are you doing with that?
$2 million.
So the face has changed to a smiley face now.
That is pretty good. I mean, I want to build my own business.
Okay. All right.
Wouldn't mind putting in the effort to do something with my own hands so I can leave a legacy behind.
Mm-hmm.
So, like...
In what area do you reckon?
Probably in what I'm in now, in the mechanical engineering field, within asset protection. But yeah, I want to leave behind a legacy or something for my kids when I'm not around.
Nice. Beautiful, all right. If you're down to your last meal, are you having red curry or something different?
Last meal would have to be a 3-piece feed from KFC, I reckon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice, all right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stuff you around with this one. The deserted island one. You're stuck on a deserted island. This time you're going to have 2 people. Who are they and why? It can be anyone in the world, whether you've met them or not.
2 people stuck on a deserted island.
So you can bring 2 more with you. And it can't be your family or kids or anything. Who's 2 people you'd like to be stuck on an island with and why?
See, the thing is, you get stuck with anyone for an extended period of time.
You have to go outside the island, go for a bit of a run, do a few burpees.
Yeah, you're going to...
do a bit of exercise and come back.
You're going to, lose your mind and probably even potentially ruin relationship because you don't get a break.
See, I think you're overthinking this now. What if I say that you're stuck on a desert island with them for 2 weeks?
2 weeks, I could probably do that. I'd probably go with Jess, the girl that I'm currently seeing, just so I can give me a chance to get to know her a bit better and grow a relationship, learning about her.
Yep.
2 people or just 1 person?
No, you can't be by yourself, mate. This is Big Brother. You got to have another person come with you. So, it's not a honeymoon island, mate. This is bring someone with you now.
So I'll go there. Yeah, I'll go with Jess for if it's only 2 weeks. Yeah.
All right.
To learn. Yeah.
They have to give you another one. There's 2.
Huh? Oh, another one.
Yeah.
And oh god,
marriage celebrant after 2 weeks. Is anyone famous or someone you like to get to know for 2 weeks?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind some Russell Brand, someone funny, just to have fun with.
Comedy.
Yeah,
that's good.
Russell Brand, yeah, just so you got some entertainment there too, and because he's really quirky and fun too. Yeah,
I like that. That's good. All right, mate. 2 more questions for you. These days, when Vishara looks at himself in the mirror, what does he see? I'm not talking about physical characteristics. As a man,
Okay.
Who does he see?
That's a good question. I see someone that's come from a very different background, that's healed themselves, constantly works on himself, and sees a man that has to be there at their best for their daughters.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
Well said. Is there anything on the podcast that I haven't spoken to you about that you wanted to chat about?
No, mate, I think we covered pretty well.
You've done well.
Yeah, that was good.
Mate, appreciate you being open, vulnerable, and
Absolutely.
pleasure to know you as a young man and also what you're doing and what you've been through, but also the quality of life now that you're going to have impact on others now from what you've been through. So don't ever underestimate the impact you've got on other people by your journey.
Yep. That's why I wanted to come on here, mate. Make sure I tell people out there that just if you're listening and you're going through a hard time, just reach out.
Yeah.
It does make a big difference, and it is hard sometimes to reach out. That is the first step and is the hardest step. But once you do realize that you can get out of it, you can get out of it.
Yeah, legend, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on GW Unspoken.
Thank you.